Morning everyone. Right then, so picking up on the Jag where we left off last week. More sanding work on this one. I actually can't remember what I put in the last week's video, to be completely honest now, but I think probably got the front bumper in there. So that's all completed now. All the sanding work has been done on that, all 180 blocked down the whole sides of the vehicle. So the only thing I haven't done at this stage is both side skirts and some finishing work on the rear bumper. And as I mentioned in the rear bumper is bad. It's going to need a lot more finishing work, so you can see all of these low spots, but they're very low as well, so they are nowhere near the point where we can get those out with the spray poly that we've used. There's something going on here as well. I can remember when I was doing this before, when I was getting it into the poly stages, this all chipped off. Again, previous repair work, as you can remember, we didn't do the rear bumper on this one. We've done both side skirts and the front moulding. We didn't do this, and it has got rust underneath there, so I'll need to dig all that out and restart there, unfortunately. Not doing that to the same extent on the other side, because that does seem solid, and like I said, we are working again with limitations on this car. Quite frankly, the budget just isn't in there for it, so as much as I'd love to rip it all apart and start over, it's a business at the end of the day. I can't go to those sort of levels, sadly. But anyway, it will come out nicely. I think it's all solid, like I said, on that side anyway. And there's just a tiny bit of surface rust on this side, so we'll deal with that. But again, like we said, the rear bumper, when you start zooming in, all of these little bits need to be taken care of. It's voids in the fiberglass, or it's just pinholes in the filler work that they've done previously, but they are everywhere, and I mean everywhere. Cracks down here, cracks here, low spots. It's just, yeah, it's all over the place. But that's always the case with fiberglass, to be fair. So, it's nothing that we can't take care of. It's just time. It takes a lot of time to do things like this, and it doesn't look like we've done anything. That's one of my biggest problems with this industry sometimes. In fact, it's just the amount of time that certain things take, and it doesn't look like we've done anything at all, which is half the reason why we put these sort of things into the YouTube, because I know that we will spend, that's been a good 4 hours or so just doing that now, and look at it. It doesn't look good at all. So anyway, enough of that. Just a quick brief insight into some of the things that we do in the shop, just to try and make things look as good as they possibly can, really. But yeah, that's where I'm going to end for today. Pick up the start of a new week tomorrow. Actually, it's Sunday now, so yeah, start of a new week tomorrow. Crack on with these and other projects. See how we go for the rest of the week. Say hi to the boys quickly. These ones are wanting to go home. This one's sleeping. Did you know? Anyway, catch you for the rest of the week. Okay guys, that's the Jag all sanded down then. All the poly is completely blocked. So what I normally say when we're blocking poly for the first or second times, whatever, I normally say the more breakthroughs we get, the less grey there is on there, essentially, the worse condition the car is in, if that makes sense. So you can see it's broken through in a lot of areas on the front end there. It's not really what we wanted to see at all, but it was completely expected as well. As mentioned previously then, so it's just lots of little pinhole imperfections and things like that we need to sort out. I've started on the slightly deeper fill areas. It doesn't look great at the moment, not sanded it down obviously, but yeah, just a bit more of a skim over the areas which I know needed some work, especially on the rear bumper then, as we've seen. Get rid of all those waves and ripples. I have spoken to the customer as well, and suggested to him that I think another stage of poly would be the best way to go with something like this. It's not strictly necessary. If this was going white, or if it was going, I don't know, a light color, light gray or something, whatever, just a light color, I'd say, yep, absolutely, we'll sand this off, get it into primer, high build, block it one more time, it's good to go. But it's going black, unfortunately. I just feel like it really needs one more round of poly to make it as good as we can possibly make it. For a car like this, that we've spent so many hours on in the first place, I just want it to be as good as we can make it. I'm not guaranteeing that it's going to be perfect by any means, but I think one more round of poly after I've done all the more important, you know, the bigger, deeper fill areas like that, once I've sorted those out, one more round of poly over the whole entire car. When I say one more round, it's going to be 3 coats of it, and then sand that back one more time before high build. I think would be the best way to go, because it's just broken through on a few too many areas for me to be happy with, really. It's not terrible, but again, the closer you look at it, the more tiny little imperfections and things that there are like this. I can't sand that any further because we've also broken through to the different substrates below there. It's just everywhere. So I think, hopefully, I'll hear back with a positive from the customer side of things in terms of being able to do it with one more round of poly. There is a price implication, of course, so that's why I can't just go ahead and do something like that, but we'll see what the answer is, and yeah, that's going to dictate where we go with this one now for the next few days or so. Either it's going into high build, and it's going to be one step closer to paint, or it's going to go into poly, which is many more hours worth of sanding, but I think it's just going to be worth it. I'll show you this one quickly as well. So just one of our everyday repair jobs. No prizes for guessing what we're doing on this one. Fairly obvious. Bit of a nasty one, but get cracking on this one shortly. See what we can do. Yeah, it's jobs for the week. Okay, so just one last video on this one then. We are coming into the final stages of this now. So Tig's just finishing off final bits of polishing work on the front end for me. Bonnet's been redone like we said previously as well. Front bumper, bonnet, replaced various different trim pieces. All these broken bits and pieces with brand new ones obviously. And like I said in previous videos as well, this whole side's been tidied up nicely from the previous work that was done from another body shop. Yeah, we're just finishing off our correction work on the bonnet now. We'll be ready to go finally, this one then, after a quick clean down. Come come out nice. Okay, so the Jag's in the booth. Unfortunately, we are waiting on a delivery of spray poly for this one. So good news for this one is customer has agreed. We are going to another round of spray poly now on this one. I think it's just needed really. Not so much needed, but like I said, I think in previous videos, again, if it was going white or a lighter color, I'd be saying yes, absolutely, let's get this into high build, go on to the next stage as it's ready to go. But because it's going to black, because it's such a long, straight car as well, or hopefully straight, I think it's just going to be beneficial to get it into one more round of poly. Like I said, a lot more time, a lot more effort, but it will be worthwhile doing for the overall results. You can see on the side here, we've spent a lot more time on this door edge. The transition between the door and the rear quarter I wasn't too happy with. So we've had to spend quite a bit more time on that, but it is as flat as I can possibly get it and as straight as I can get it now. Again, front and rear bumpers and side skirts, all fiberglass on this one, so a lot more time's been spent on them. Myself and Tig have gone around the whole car, absolutely painstakingly filling in every single pinhole that we can possibly find on the thing, which isn't technically necessary, because again, we're going into spray poly, which would cover them anyway, but it's just one more added little precautionary step. So I think, hopefully, another 3 coats of spray poly on this one, block it down one more time, and then into high builds, block that down, should be ready for paint then. Although probably be painting the engine bay first. But yeah, that'll be coming up next week sometime in any case, or we'll be cracking on with this one as and when the spray poly comes in. Get this into the next stages then. You can probably hear next door as well. Enzo is about ready to go home, so I'll just show you next door quickly actually as well. So we are making some progress on the Golf. 1 second. Probably should have just paused the camera, to be fair. Enzo. But yeah, so the Golf is coming along quite nicely as well. So this is just a tidy up sort of deal. Obviously the car's not worth, without being rude, the car's not worth a huge amount of money again. So this is just a improve only sort of deal. We pulled it out as best as I possibly could. Really difficult area to pull these, and you saw the damage that was there as well. So it's not been the easiest. There's a little bit more filler in there than I'd like. It's fiberglass filler, mind you. So what you can see on the top there is just a tiny skim just to get the shape for the arch. Not how we would do a normal, a high-end car. Absolutely not how we would do a high-end car at all. But for a vehicle like this, and having explained it to the customer thoroughly, I think this is the way to go with something like this. Otherwise, frankly, it would have been a write-off. So yeah, get this one back on the road. But the caps come out nice. Again, compare it to how it was before. I don't think anyone's going to complain about this one. So yeah, that's where I'm going to leave it for this week, guys. We have had as well, actually, next door. I'm not going to show you now. We've had another MRM drop-off. I'll be honest, I don't even know exactly what it is, but it's an old Ford of some sort, Mark IV, I think, Escort, RS Turbo replica, I think. But more on that in the weeks to come. And yeah, as always, guys, thanks for new subscriptions and everything. Let me know what you want to see in upcoming videos, and we will keep on going as we are. Catch you next week.